No, our title doesn't lie. You can actually be rich. In the next few minutes, you will learn the secrets of many successful people that made them who they are and how you can apply them. Yes, you! But before we begin, did you hear that sound? That's the sound of prosperity coming to you. Everything starts with imagination. Each and every success story begins with an idea. And how did you get an idea? Yes, imagination.
Imagination.
Most people don't know this, but there are two kinds of imaginations. The first one being creative imagination. This is the type of imagination where we are able to come up with new things like music, paintings, and writings. The second kind is synthetic imagination. This kind rearranges old ideas into new combinations. Want an example? Smartwatch. It's a wristwatch that is combined with the capability of a smartphone. You can combine the two types of imagination, like the story of Asa Candler, who bought a cough medicine recipe and turned it into Coca-Cola. This is synthetic imagination. And then he developed genius marketing strategies that turned the product into a huge success. This is creative imagination. But what if you don't consider yourself as a creative person? Like muscle, creativity can be trained. The more you use, the more powerful it becomes. But an idea is just an idea if you don't turn it into a goal, which is why you need to learn how to set a goal. Living your goal. You should start by defining the goal as precisely as you can. Some examples like, I want to have $1 million in 3 years. Or, I want to try 100 brands of mac and cheese in 1 year. Or just like Team Rocket, whose goal is to catch that specific Pikachu. Additionally, you have to come up with a plan that outlines every step you'll need to reach the goal. And once you have a plan, write it down in detail. You will need it later. Stay tuned. But for now, the next thing to do is to believe and have faith in yourself. This is important because people who are disheartened are the ones who fail. You need to believe in yourself and be persistent. Take Thomas Edison for example. His goal was to invent an electric light source. He failed more than 10,000 times, and it took him years to finally invent the light bulb. Without his determination and persistence, you would still be taking a dump in the dark. Imagine how shitty it is. But that sounds easier to say than done. You're right, it's not easy to keep the desire burning. That's why you need to hypnotize yourself, which we'll talk about right now. Hypnotize yourself. Nope, you don't need to call someone to hypnotize you, you can do this yourself. There are some methods you can do to influence your thoughts and subconscious. The first method will require you to use your goal plan which you have written, and read it aloud once in the morning and once every night before going to bed. Just make sure you don't disturb your neighbor, especially if your neighbor is a serial killer. Just don't. This method will make sure your desire for success is anchored deeply enough in your thoughts and actions. The second method is called autosuggestion. It's a way of influencing yourself by deeply thinking very specific and purposeful thoughts or ideas. You can use it to convey certain commands or positive goals like, I believe what I do can be impactful and others don't know better than me, hence increasing your own belief in yourself. But at the same time, you should prevent yourself from feeling too many negative impulses, such as rage, a desire for revenge, or pessimism. This also means you should avoid contact with people that give negative values to you, such as the I can't be wrong, it must be your mistake type of people. Screw them! Throw away those toxic people into the garbage and build brain trust instead. What is brain trust? Stay tuned, you'll learn about it soon. But right now, you need to learn about how powerful knowledge is. Knowledge is power. Ah, knowledge. Such a boring term. But hold on, this isn't just about the kind of knowledge you learn in formal education institutions. This is about so much more. Sure, formal education is important, but they alone won't help you reach your goal. There are two traits you need to adopt. The first one is the willingness to continue learning throughout your life. And the second one is the ability to learn the right experiences and knowledge that can help you reach your goal. You can do this by attending evening courses, working as an intern, reading books, and brain trust. Okay, what is brain trust really? Be patient, you'll get the answer soon. But now, you need to feel weak. Feeling weak. Feeling weak is actually a good thing. That means you are aware that you have weakness. It's a good start, but don't stop there. You also need to be aware of your strengths, so that you can take action against these weaknesses, or at least to balance them out with your strengths. And you can identify your strengths and weaknesses by performing self-analysis. Ask yourself these questions. 1. Have I achieved my aim for this year? 2. Was I always friendly? courteous and cooperative? 3. Did I make all decisions promptly and firmly? You can also find more questions that you can use in your self-analysis on Google or the all-knowing ChatGPT. Sounds easy? Not really. There's more you need to do because self-analysis can sometimes be too subjective. You still need to compare it with somebody else's objective evaluation of you. Sit down with someone who knows you really well and discuss your strengths and weaknesses. This is also why brain trust is important. At this point, you have been teased with the term brain trust so many times. Thank you for being patient. That's a strength. Now let's talk about brain trust. For real this time. Brain trust. Brain trust is a union of like-minded people who work well with one another to combine their skills, talents, knowledge, experience, discussing your strengths and weaknesses, and all other things to accomplish the same shared goal. In short, brain trust is your smart support system. The concept of brain trust might sound simple, but it is actually hard to find the brains you can trust. But once you find your brain trust and combined with everything else you learned in this video, there's no goal you can't achieve. You can also share this video to your trusted friends. Who knows? They might be a perfect candidate for your brain trust. Cheers!